We are looking at page 1 and 2 of the Chapter 5 quiz review for Algebra 2. So starting with the first two, number 1 says simplify each expression. So we're going to see if we can reduce or cancel either numerator to denominator or diagonally. Okay, so I'm seeing 6 and 8 are both divisible by 2, so 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 8 4 times, then I'm seeing a 4 and a 4, and then all I have left is a 3 and a 10, so I've got 3 over 10, and then the a does not reduce, so 3 over 10a. Number 2, 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 8 4 times. I've got an x to the first and an x to the second, so this one completely cancels, and this becomes x. So what's left? We've got a 16x in the numerator and a 3 in the denominator. Jumping down to numbers 3 through 6, the directions say simplify. So you want to add the exponents. So the a is going to be a to the 8th. The b is going to add, we're going to add the 4 and the 2 to get 6. The c is going to add the 2 and the 3, so c to the 5th. Number 4, we've got a negative times a negative, so I'm going to change them both to positive. And then I'm just going to start with the coefficient, which is 2. Then I'm going to go alphabetically, so I'm going to start with my x's. I've got an x to the 3rd and an x to the 1st, so x to the 4th. Then I'm going to go to my y's. I've got a y to the 1st and a y to the 1st, so y to the 2nd. Then I'm going to go to my z's. I've got a z to the 1st and a z to the 4th, so z to the 5th. All right, number 5, everything in those parentheses needs to go to that power, including the negative 2 to the 3rd power, the q to the 3rd power, and the r to the 2nd to the 3rd power. So negative 2 to the 3rd power is negative 8, q to the 3rd is q to the 3rd, and r to the 2nd to the 3rd is r to the 6th. Same thing here, everything in the parentheses needs to go to the power. So I'm going to have negative 4 to the 3rd, which is negative 64, x to the 3rd, and y to the 4th to the 3rd is y to the 12th. Numbers 7 and 8, the directions say your answer should contain only positive exponents. If there's a negative out front, you can just leave it out front. And then see if you can reduce any. I see 2 goes into 4 twice. I've got a k and a k. That can cancel. H to the 3rd and h to the 1st, so this one cancels. This becomes h to the 2nd in the denominator. Let's write what's left. Still got that negative sign. 2 in the denominator. Nothing in the numerator, so I'm going to do a placeholder of 1, h to the 2nd and j to the 3rd. All right, number 8, the 4's cancel. I've got a z to the 1st and a z to the 3rd, so this one cancels, and I've got z to the 2nd. No x in the numerator. Y to the 2nd cancels, and y to the 3rd becomes y. So let's see what's left. Nothing left in the numerator, so placeholder of 1. And then I've got x, I've got a y, and I've got z squared. All right, turn over to page 2. Page 2, number 9 through 14. Same directions from the previous page, which was just basically to simplify, make sure you have all positives. If you see something to a power of 0, like you do right there, it's just 1. I'd start with the coefficients, so 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Then my a's, I'm going to add those exponents. Negative 3 plus negative 4 is negative 7. So that's going to end up moving. I've got a b to the 2nd and a c to the 6th. So positive exponents are going to stay where they're at. Negative exponents are going to move. Negative numbers stay where they're at because their exponents are actually a 1, so they stay. A to the 7th to the denominator, b to the 2nd in the numerator, and c to the 6th in the numerator. All right, number 10, a negative 2 times 4 would be negative 8. And then let's see, we've got h, j, and k. So h to the power of negative 3 plus 1, which would be negative 2. J to the 2 plus the 1 would be 3. K to the negative 1 plus 4, which would also be 3. So let's see, negative 8 stays. J to the third stays, k to the third stays, h to the negative second moves and becomes positive. All right, jump down to number 11. Everything in the parentheses goes to that power. So negative 3 to the negative 4th power. X to the negative 3rd to the negative 4th power. Y to the 4th to the negative 4th power. And Z to the negative 2nd to the negative 4th power. So negative 3 to the negative 4th power is going to be 81, and move it to the denominator. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12, so that's going to stay in the numerator. Y to the 4th times to the negative 4, so that'd be negative 16th, so I'm going to move that to the denominator and make a positive 16th exponent. And then negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8, so Z to the 8th is going to stay in the numerator. All right. Number 12, we've got negative 4 to the negative 2nd. So I'm going to move that to the denominator and make it 16. X to the negative 2nd is going to move to the denominator and become positive 2. Y to the 4th to the negative 2nd would be y to the negative 8th, so move it to the denominator, positive 8th exponent. And anything to the 0 power is 1, so it's going to cancel. And that's all of it, so I need a placeholder of 1. All right, number 13. Let's see if we can reduce any of the coefficients. No. I've got an h to the 4th and an h to the 3rd, so this one eliminates, this becomes h. This becomes 1, but this is negative, so I'm going to move it to the denominator and make it positive, j to the 4th. K to the 4th is going to stay. So let's see what we're left with. 3h in the numerator. And then in the denominator, the 4 is good, the j to the 4th is good, and k to the 4th is good. All right, number 14. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into negative 4, negative 2 times. And then I've got an m to the 1st and an m to the 1st, so this one cancels. This becomes m to the 3rd. I'm actually going to add 4 to the exponent of the denominator, so this becomes n to the 6th in the denominator. I'm going to do the same thing with 14. With p to the negative 4th. So I'm going to add 4 to that exponent down here, so that becomes p to the 7th. I think that's all we can do. So let's see, we've got m to the 3rd left in the numerator. And we've got 2 n to the 6th, p to the 7th. And you could write the negative 2 there, but I'm just going to write it out front. Make the whole fraction negative. All right, number 15. We want to simplify the expression, so we're going to see if we have any GCFs or if we can do any factoring. I see a GCF in that denominator of 10. So I'm going to factor out a 10, which leaves me with m minus 1, which is what's in the numerator, right? So that factor cancels and that factor cancels, and I'm left with just 1/10. All right. Let's see if we can factor out a GCF here. Yes, 56k. So that leaves us with k plus 1. And the denominator, we've got 16k. K's obviously cancel. Does 16 go into 56? Yes. Well, 8 goes into 16 twice, and 8 goes into 56 7 times. So this is 7 times k plus 1 over 2. If you want to distribute that, you can.